Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to take a look at the Israeli-Palestinian escalation of violence. I did a reading on another forum yesterday. I pulled the Page of Cups amongst a lot of other cards, which really just gave me more questions. And so I want to do a fuller, broader reading today. My feeling was at the time that things would get worse, obviously, before they got better. That Page of Cups may indicate there may be some sort of heavy strike which mobilises the UN and other forces to come in and do more than what they are doing now. So, of course, we've had, just to give a bit of background, as I like to do, we've had 4 years of Jared Kushner, Trump's, I don't know what he would be called, an advisor, his son-in-law, meddling around in the Middle East. And of course, the last chapter of that meddling was that weapons were sold to the Gulf states, and in return there was some kind of brokering of some deal between Israel and Arab states. Palestinians were left out of all of that, and in fact were offered some kind of occupation type deal from Israel if they signed up to an accord in return for some money and wealth generating. Palestine rejected that from Israel. Now, there has been, obviously, as there always is, simmering tensions in the Middle East, and of course the world gets drawn into them. The current leader of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, was heavily supported by the previous US administration. Very, very, a friend to the White House, and of course a personal friend to Jared Kushner's family. He has been battling to get re-elected with a big enough majority for his government. He is far right-winged. And of course there are more moderate forces in Israel that want the violence to end and more dialogue to occur. Now, in certain cities along the close to the Gaza Strip, which is territory that there's this continual battle over, and the West Bank, of course, those cities do contain a fairly high percentage of Arab residents. And so you might, in Lod, the city close to the Gaza, there are 30% Arabs living there, along with 70% of Israelis. And Israeli police in the past weeks have been doing these raids. They entered a mosque, they fired rubber bullets and other things. While they were inside the mosque, Israeli police have been going to Arab Palestinian dwellings and saying these residents must move, long-time residents, because this is territory that belongs to Israel from before 1948. So you get the picture. On Thursday, Hamas fired rockets from Palestine into Israel. Israel came back and met it with force that is, escalating now. There is civil war also, or the leader Netanyahu has said they're heading towards civil war as Arabs living within Israel are attacked or are involved in violence, and then of course Israelis are attacked by Arabs, and so the violence goes on. So Israel have sent armoured tanks and ground forces to the border. As yet, there has been no movement of those troops over, the ground troops, boots on the ground, into the Gaza, though they are deploying artillery from their positions into the Gaza. So I guess there are lots of questions, but let's just start with, will this escalate into full-blown war? I just want to go back to my reading yesterday on another forum and just see what that surprise, that bombshell was. I've got a fair idea what that might be, but let's just test the waters again today. Will this escalate into war between Palestine and Israel? Will this escalate into all-out war? Okay, so we've got the King of Cups, which, as you know, is my card for the Biden administration. The King of Cups is emotional maturity. It is coming through with, brokering peace. I think America is now determining its position on this. It is deviated slightly from the position of the last government, but let's see. So we've got the King of Cups. In my reading yesterday, it showed America would back UN involvement here. And we've got the challenge being the New Start here. So the Ace of Wands. So there is a challenge here. I think from what has been done in the last 4 years, someone like Kushner meddling around. We don't know what was in those deals. Some of them were secret. Some were even done outside congressional authority. We don't know, do we? We don't know. I got a pull toward Russia. I feel that where did the Palestinians get their weaponry? Was that from Russia or was that from another Gulf state? Who supplied that weaponry? Of course, US under Trump sold weapons. So, look, lots of questions now. We have the Ten of Swords, which, of course, is complete and utter downfall as the foundation of the reading. It's also ending old cycles. Number 10, complete and utter downfall. I'm not sure what that is for. In the past, we have the Knight of Cups. So this is brokering something. This is an offer of something, but it's in the past and it's short-lived. And this knight comes in quickly and schmoozes over things and then is gone the next morning. Well, we know who that might be, don't we? That could be Jared Kushner's meddling here. What's crowning this reading is there is a new start. So it appears that the administration over the last 4 years didn't achieve that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here doing this reading. It seems like the challenge for the current American administration, and indeed the way it works through the UN or supports the UN, that the challenge is a clean slate, getting a new start in a battle that is historic, that has been ingrained almost into the soil, blood on the soil, so to speak, in that area. In the immediate future, we have the Page of Wands. That is movement forward. I'm not sure yet. Let's see what the other card's going to tell us, what that movement means. It could even mean boots on the ground, move into Gaza. That is my intuitive feeling, but I haven't finished the reading. So we've got the past here, history, who owns what. The past is in the here and now. This can also be using or moving into our higher self. I remember reading articles where Jews and Arabs cohabited alongside one another peacefully. And then, of course, we had the emboldening of Netanyahu during the Trump administration. And they stirred a lot of things up. But we've got families here. I think it's fair to say that everyone wants to live, or families, whether they be Jewish or whether Israeli, I should say, or Arab, want to live peacefully alongside one another. Nobody wants war. Okay, so we have here, except the aggressors. So we have here the Two of Wands in the hopes and fears that peace can be brokered in that region. But the Nine of Swords is a worry. Literally, it's a worry. And my question was, will war escalate? So there is the Chariot card to clarify this. Things moving forward very, very quickly, which would clarify my Page of Cups, and we've got the Six of Pentacles, which is sort of, I don't know, symbolic archetype. We have some very, very impoverished Palestinians here, but there are also people who are aiding them. So, at the base of the pack, we've got the Ace of Swords. There's something that, of course, there's clandestine matters here that we don't know about. There are people who are fueling this, who are supporting this. And we've got the Hierophant here, governments, and the Five of Swords. Governments are supporting this, and they want victory. They want victory. Victory is going to pay off for them in some way. Now, Netanyahu is a friend of, apparently, if you can call it that, of Putin's. So one wouldn't know who one's friends or enemies were. Okay, so my feeling is that Israel will actually send those boots on the ground in. I think they may have already done it in some way. Let's have a look. Because there is something else that's going to happen that's bigger, that really galvanizes everybody to get involved. Will Israel, we know they want the territory. We know that from the deal that Kushner apparently put forward, where Israel would take territory and take territory away from the Palestinians. That was basically the bottom line in return for money and support. Okay, so let's have a look here. The Palestinians have been emboldened, and I think I suspect that's by Russia. Saudi Arabia and Russia are allied to one another too. So, okay, so let's do some crystal gazing. Will Israel send those troops across the border into the Gaza? Will Israel? Netanyahu has said he'll do whatever he needs to do to stop rockets being fired into Israel. Will Israeli soldiers move into the Gaza? I feel they already have. That's what I'm getting. So we've got the King of Swords. This is a strong strike that I'm picking up. We've got the challenge being the Lovers. Again, we don't know. We don't know what the previous administration was doing in the Middle East. There were many visits that weren't, that were done quickly and went under the radar. Weapons were sold. This is what I'm getting. I'm getting that. So, even though the previous administration is no longer here, there are still thumbprints, if you like, on it. The King of Wands. So, this is leadership, strong action. I'm just getting kings here, strong action. In the past, we had a new start. We had the Fool, something new beginning. What was that? So we have the Emperor here. This shows me strong force to control something. My feeling is this is Netanyahu sending those troops in. And of course, as I was watching these events play out, I thought this would help. This would help Netanyahu gain re-election. So we've got celebration coming together, forces coming together here. Will they send those boots in? Yeah, there's a lot that we don't know here. Some would say this is rather random. Others would say, more cynically, this has been pre-planned in some way. And of course, the environment around is new starts. Okay, so new starts. Nobody, because that was in the challenge position, nobody is getting that new start. The fear and the hope, of course, the Page of Wands, I said that could be movement of troops, and we have the King of Pentacles. So, along with the Emperor. So I think Yeah. Okay. This is a plan that, as I said, I'm just getting some pre-planning. I don't know which side it's on, but there are some pre-planning here, like it was set up some time ago in some way and funded in some way. So we have here at the base of the pack the Three of Wands. We've got the 2 and the 3 now. Plans which materialize, come to some sort of fruition. And of course we have the 4 of Cups, an offer here, and the Moon, something needing to emerge. So we don't have the full picture yet. Will they send ground troops in? The Emperor crowning the reading, the King of Pentacles. I don't think this is going to be solved sitting around a table. Let's just pull a clarifier on that King of Pentacles, because that is my card for the former administration, and certainly the Devil card is that. My feeling is that they will send boots in. That is the bombshell here. That is what brings people to the table. So show me this King of Pentacles. It's about territory. It's about money. Oh yeah. Okay. So I've got the 4 of Swords. 4 of Swords. Swords. Some wounded in battle, mortally wounded in battle. So there's more death. More death and destruction. Show me this King of Pentacles. Will they send troops in? Can also be retreat. Look, I think they will advance forward in some way. There's our Page of Wands again. I'm just going to... I've got my pendulum here. I'm always wary of using a pendulum because, you get people who say, oh, you're moving it. But they are handy when you get a bit of a stalemate. So I just want to anchor my arm here and hang this over the King of Pentacles. Let me bring the laptop down so you can see it a bit more clearly. This was our outcome card. And so let's see. So clockwise is yes. Show me yes, please. Show me yes. Show me yes, please. Okay, so we started to move clockwise. All right, show me no. Let me just steady it again. Show me no. Okay, and no, of course, is anti-clockwise. All right, so this King of Pentacles here. What is this about? Is this okay, one question at a time. Will they advance into the Gaza? Will Israeli troops advance into the Gaza? All right, that's starting to swing clockwise, so that is a yes. It's confirming my intuition. All right, so was this pre-planned? Was this pre-planned? Was this a pre-planned attack for an ends that isn't really clear yet? Okay, so there's a yes. All right. Okay, so who is Russia supporting Hamas? Is Russia supporting Hamas? Is Russia supporting Hamas? Okay, so I'm getting a yes. All right, so are the Gulf states, any of the Gulf states who received weaponry, are they supporting the Palestinians? Are any of the Gulf states who received weaponry from Trump supporting the Gulf states? And that is a yes again. All right, so let's go one step further. Is Netanyahu using this to get re-elected in some way to shore up political support? Is Netanyahu using this? Yes, it's politically advantageous to him. Okay, many players, as usual. Nothing much changes in the Middle East, does it? All right, so what will the US administration back the UN to broker peace? and that is a yes. Okay. Now, in my reading yesterday, I saw the Palestinians receiving aid as part of this deal. So that's probably as far as I'll go today. Quite an interesting reading. I guess there's only one last question, and I'll probably just pull a few cards on that. And it's one that we already know the answer to because we've read on it a lot of times. And that is, did Kushner and Trump benefit financially from any of the deals that they did in the Middle East in the past? Did Kushner and Trump? Because some of these deals didn't go through Congress and had Republicans putting their foot down as well, saying, we can't have this. We can't have weaponry sold like this without it coming through the Congress. So, all right, back to the original question. Okay, too many. All right, so did Kushner or Trump benefit financially from the deals that they struck in the Middle East? Did Trump and Kushner benefit financially from deals they struck in the Middle East? That was in the past card. That was where I said this was the knight that comes in, doesn't really fix anything and leaves fairly quickly, an offering of some description. And the Four of Wands, reunification, communities coming together in the challenge position. So we had an offer and then we had a reunification in the as the challenge here. The Ace of Cups, of course, as the foundation of the reading, offering them. What were they offering them? A new start here. Around communities. What was this? Yeah. The Sun here in the past. The Son of the Father, literally. Netanyahu, a friend of the Kushner family. There were smoke screens. There was not accountability. There was not transparency around what they were doing in the Middle East. Did they receive money? Foreign money, ship coming in. The World card, to end something, to provide someone with a new beginning. You make of these what you want, how you want. I think the cards are speaking. I probably don't even need to talk. They offered a new start in some way. A landscape, a new start. But what did they receive? Perhaps I do need to talk. We've got the family card here and victory. I think what the support was also running interference, or this could have even been in the 2016 election. Maybe this was the price that was paid for the presidency, and we do have an abuse of power. Make of those cards what you will, viewers. Make of them what you will. Anyway, not on our doorstep, but we now have a situation in the Middle East with a lot of players, no transparency, a lot of agendas. Some would say nothing much has changed. But I would say what has changed is that somebody's got weapons they may not have had before, and someone else has been emboldened in the past enough to want to be quite aggressive. And the Middle East is a tinderbox for all those reasons. On the plus side, we have the Biden administration working all this out. This is what I feel they're doing. And they will embolden the UN to come in and broker a peace deal. And I do feel there's money here, in some way, aid given to the Palestinians, which will help things. So, let's see how it plays out. But I do feel something else is going to occur before we even get to that. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back later on with another reading again. Let's pray for those that are caught up in this violence, the innocents who are the casualties of war, who have no part in any of these agendas, whatever they may be, and pay for that. Pay for this with their lives. So that's where our prayers are right now, and let's also pray for a speedy end to the violence. Thank you for tuning in.